welcome to the
on. That's already on. Okay. I'm good? Okay. All right, good morning. We're going to officially get started this morning. It's so wonderful to see the room full of people and smiles. It's great. We still have a few people that are making their way here and getting checked in at registration. But I would like to welcome everyone to the 2024 Social Work Field Education Symposium. Woo! Thank you so much for being here today as we celebrate our students and field placement partners. Also, a special welcome to those of you joining us on the live stream. Our BSW and MSW programs would not be successful without the time, dedication, and mentorship from all our field placement partners. We value your partnership as we continue to educate the next generation of social workers. Today is for you. I would also like to say a special thank you to the field education team. So Anna, Sheila, April, Stephanie, Jamie, Jennifer, and Shannon, please stand so that we can thank you for your countless hours you devoted to make today successful. We also have a member of the field education team that's not, well, we have two members of the field education team that are not here today. Shannon was not able to make it. And then most of you maybe are aware of our assistant field director, Claire Halligan. I don't think she's surprising us in person today, so she might be watching from the live stream. She is finishing up maternity leave. So those of you that don't know, baby Faith was born at the end of December, but we're looking forward to having Claire come back to us soon. So thank you to the field education team. Today is truly a group effort to make today happen, and I could not do it without my wonderful colleagues. So thank you. A few housekeeping items this morning. There's a special announcement for those of you on the live stream. So this is for them. Students, please email your faculty field liaison directly to register your attendance for them today. And then field supervisors and task instructors, anyone attending from the field placement site, if you would like CEU for today, you need to send an email to socialworkfieldeducation@nau.edu indicating your name, agency name, and license type to obtain CEU credit, and I believe that information is also on the live stream right now. If you have any questions about that, you can email the Social Work Field Education email address and we can assist you with that. For those in-person participants who would like a continuing education unit, please make sure that you sign the table just right outside the Humphreys Ballroom to register if you haven't done so already. You will have 7 days to complete the evaluation, and the evaluation will be sent to you early next week to do that evaluation to get your CEU. And you do not need to check out today to get that CEU. You need to sign in, but you don't need to sign out. If you aren't familiar with the High Country Conference Center, we have 2 areas of restrooms. So when you leave our room, there's restrooms down at the end of the hallway to my right. And also, if you keep going around where you walked in, there's restrooms on the left-hand side. There's going to be coffee and tea and water and iced tea available all morning. Our luncheon will be at noon. Our buffet is going to be in this room today rather than in the hallway. And the setup for luncheon will begin as soon as our keynote speaker is completed. We also have parking validation. If you need to leave early, you are welcome to get a parking validation sticker from the registration table. If you're not leaving early, when our event is over, the parking arm in the parking garage will be up and you'll just be able to leave. Okay, so that was it for the housekeeping and logistics. We have an exciting day for you that includes some special awards and recognitions, some great food and company, special thank you gifts, and our keynote presentation from Dr. Katie Momartz. We are so thankful and happy that you are here with us today. We hope you enjoy the Field Education Symposium. At this time, we have a special message from NAU President Dr. Cruz Rivera, who isn't able to be with us in person today. ABOR is meeting this weekend at U of A, but we have a nice pre-recorded message from him that's going to be played now. Thank you.
Welcome to the 2024 Social Work Field Symposium. To our NAU students, thank you for your dedication to this most noble field and to the well-being of our society at large. To our dedicated faculty and staff in the Department of Social Work, thank you for your tireless efforts to provide an exceptional educational experience and meaningful supports for our students. And to the Social Work Field Education Unit, who makes this crucial component possible, thank you for the immense amount of time and dedication you invest to ensure quality field placement for up to 200 students each year, placements that are not just here in Arizona, but in sites that span across the country. The importance of our students' field work and the collaboration between NAU and our community partners cannot be overstated. all our social work students, both undergraduate and graduate, complete a formal internship which affords them a meaningful experience and an opportunity to practice the social work values, ethics, and competencies before graduation in the field. So one more big thank you is in order. To our numerous community partners that take on NAU students as interns in their organizations, thank you. We rely on your collaboration and partnership as part of our students' educational journeys and our mission to better serve the people and communities in Arizona and beyond. Which brings me to the essential point of why all these contributions by our faculty, staff, and partners are so vital and why today's celebration matters so much. The field of social work is critical to our future health, and our students and future social workers are key contributors to building an equitable and just society as you frequently work with the most vulnerable and marginalized populations, focusing on both environment and social justice to assist those in need. Through our broad range of field placement sites, you have experienced a diversity of settings, including mental and behavioral health facilities, child welfare, medical and clinical settings, not-for-profit community action organizations, K-12 schools, university offices, housing and homelessness programs, and veteran services, among others. Every one of these internship settings serves a population that greatly needs you, equipped with the ethical values of social work: service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relationships, integrity, and competence. I know you're ready, supported by our faculty and fieldwork partners, to live these values in your work ahead. Now, take a moment to think how far you have come and the experience and success you have realized. Yes, there may be a new feeling of nervousness as this chapter in your lives ends, but I know you're ready for the hard and important work ahead. Today is special. I encourage you to savor this moment, look around you, and share your appreciation, memories, and aspirations with the tremendous colleagues in the Department of Social Work and the dedicated fieldwork partners who helped you reach this place. I cannot wait to see what you will do next, and know you will surely live lives of purpose and pursue careers of consequence powered by the lasting experiences gained in your education and internships at NAU. Thank you once again to our faculty, staff, and community partners for your commitment to student success, and congratulations to our students. Here's to a brighter future. Go Jacks. Welcome to the future. Go Jacks.
How awesome is our president? Let me just say that. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sheila Hammer. I'm a faculty field liaison here at NAU, and I have the special pleasure of getting to MC this segment of our field symposium, which is announcing all of our field awards for the academic year. So we have a field student and field supervisor of the year awardee in each of the following categories: BSW in person, BSW online, MSW foundation year, MSW specialized year, and MSW in person. Our Field Supervisor of the Year awardees were each nominated by one of their social work student interns. It is a supervisor who has taken the time and invested in and mentored their students and done exceptional work with and for the communities in which they serve. Our Field Supervisor awardees are those who live by the Social Work Code of Ethics, whether or not they have a social work degree. Our Field Student of the Year awardees were each chosen by an NAU field faculty liaison. It is a student who has shown up, likely overcome obstacles in their journey, has stretched themselves in their internship, and been receptive to feedback, and as a result has grown exceptionally into the role as a professional social worker. It is for students who hold themselves to high standards and understand the importance of the Code of Ethics. It is for students who are open to the feedback, desire to grow, to become their best selves. The award recognizes students who believe in empowering and bettering their community through their clients. Before we officially start, this is always my favorite part, I'd love to ask all of our field and task supervisors and any supportive staff at our partner agencies to please stand. Woo. Thank you all so, so much. As our president stated, it is absolutely true that we could not do this work without you, and we are so thankful for you and the partnership. Now, if we could have all of our BSW online or in person stand. All of our BSW students. You have all faced your own unique paths and challenges along the way, and here you stand ready to graduate. Now, if we could have all of our MSW students stand. Woo. It is so exciting to see this group grow every year. We are so thankful to have you joining the profession with your advanced degree in social work. We also want to recognize the many, many students and supervisors who are joining us remotely. We see you, we honor you. Let's give all of our remote attendees a round of applause. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Before I present our awards, I'd actually like to recognize our fearless leader, Julie. Just saying thank you. Go ahead and stand. Julie leads the very heavy lift of putting this symposium on every year, and we as a field team and social work department are so thankful for you. So now I'd like to welcome our faculty field liaison, Jennifer Carlson McCarthy, one of our faculty field liaisons, to the stage.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everybody here. I'm going to start out awarding the BSW Mountain Campus Student of the Year for our field program. So this student was nominated by her field supervisor, as Sheila just pointed out. So this student has been a wonderful intern. She was able to jump into her internship and assume a full caseload and handle it professionally. She was also able to successfully balance a full-time internship along with her other responsibilities seamlessly. She is kind, compassionate, and a quick learner. The team at Everybody Matters has been so thankful to have her. And I would like to give this award to Santana Aguayo. Okay, so congratulations to Santana. And a huge thank you to her field supervisor, Jessica Burns from Everybody Matters, for her influence and dedication. Okay. All right, let's see. Now I'm going to present the Field Supervisor of the Year. So this is for the Field Supervisor of the Year for the BSW Mountain Campus students. This year we're actually going to recognize 2 supervisors who work well together and have worked with our students over the years. So these 2 supervisors have been incredible supervisors for NAU BSW interns over the years. This year, they have both been nominated by students to receive the BSW In-Person Supervisor Award. So today, we want to take time to recognize the amazing learning opportunities that they have provided for our students and the valuable time they have invested in our interns, both this year as well as in many previous years. So this award this year, one of the awards goes to Shawnee Parfinick with Northland Family Help Center. Oh, I saw her here. Shawnee was nominated by Grace Britt, and her nomination was supported by the field liaisons who have worked with her this year. Shawnee acknowledges everyone around her and is always happy to offer help when someone is in need, whether it is a client, a colleague, or an intern. She is approachable and encourages students to be active participants in their own learning by encouraging them to ask questions and to contribute ideas and perspectives. She is positive and supportive in this process. Shawnee has been described as a natural leader and is known to be a creative solution finder and a supportive collaborator with our students, our department, and our department faculty, as well as within her own organization. So thank you very much and congratulations. Okay, and we have one more awardee in this category, and Stephanie will present that one.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. Hi, everybody. So I am happy to award the second award for the BSW Flagstaff Mountain Campus in-person field supervisor to Liz Tassoni. Where are you, Liz? Also with Northland Family Help Center. Liz was nominated by her student Natalia, and this is some of the stuff that Natalia said about Liz. Liz is the epitome of what social work practice looks like in a real-world community application. She's an incredible leader and role model. She's kind, professional, warm, and upbeat. She manages and multitasks with so much grace. I've seen that, she's right. And displays a deep sense of care for employees and clients alike. Working in a domestic violence shelter can present many challenges as well as many rewarding experiences. Liz supports students in learning how to navigate these challenges. She provides feedback in a kind and productive manner and empowers her students by acknowledging their hard work and reminding them of how much she appreciates them. Her student wrote that it has been an honor to have her as a supervisor, not only because of the compassion and grace she extends to her employees, but also because of the strength she carries as a leader and role model. Thank you, Liz, for your dedication and professionalism. So now we're going to pivot and we're going to move on to our BSW online program. So I just want to give everybody out there a wave who's watching us. Thank you for joining us. The first award will be for the BSW Online Field Student of the Year Award. So this student is Ms. Beth McGee. So let's give Beth a round of applause. Beth is a valued member of an acute care crisis facility in Fort Collins, Colorado. Beth has been incredibly flexible and willing to jump in on any situation in order to observe and learn the work. She's a very empathetic person, and her willingness to roll up her sleeves and dive into complex work with clinical staff has been much appreciated. She is a professional, she has a calm demeanor. She's compassionate and adaptable, which made her easy to work with and poised to serve clients needing crisis services. So congratulations, Beth. I want to say also thank you to her field supervisor, Brian Ferens, for all of the influence and mentorship that you provided to Beth. So thank you, Brian, for being there. So now to move on to the BSW Field Supervisor of the Year Award for our online program. So this award is going to go to Susan Belinsky, who is a field supervisor at the Department of Child Safety. So Susan works for DCS in Cottonwood, Arizona. And she was nominated by her student, Jordan. Jordan shares that Susan is the epitome of what a field supervisor should be, one that influences and promotes my passion for social work and child welfare. She supports her students wholeheartedly and consistently and includes them in every available learning opportunity. When collaborating on cases, she always reminds her students to remain open-minded and to keep their social work values in the forefront. Susan models these social work values by remaining open-minded and reminding students to check their biases. She provides real-world alternative examples, always important, that encourages students to challenge themselves and to think critically, also important. Thank you, Susan, for supporting our students and our program.
Thank you, Stephanie. So congratulations to all of our BSW Field students and Supervisors of the Year awardee recipients. We are now going to shift to our MSW program, starting first with our foundation year students. I'm going to start by asking Faculty Field Liaison April to come to the podium to present the MSW Foundation Year Field Student of the Year awardee.
Wow, thank you. So it's so wonderful to see everyone, and I'm so excited for everyone joining from home as well. This is such an honor, and I have an amazing group of foundation students. So this was hard to do, but exciting. So I have the honor of presenting this year's Foundation Year Field Award to a student who brings limitless compassion, authenticity, and advocacy to the young students he works with at his school. Through courageous self-reflection, he has worked hard to develop his own professional identity in his work with these young students. His supervisor, Tiffany Ferguson, shared, "What I most admire is that this student has seamlessly incorporated his cultural identity into his clinical practice and teachings. Showing up authentically in your practice is not an easy task and something I admire in this student." So this year's MSW Foundation Year Field Student Award goes to Brandon Hanks. All right, now I have the honor of presenting this year's Foundation Year MSW Supervisor Award to Kelly Reber. Kelly is the Assistant Director of the NAU Lumberjack Care Center and was nominated by her student, Dylan Quinn. Dylan shared that Kelly, quote, "creates a culture where interns thrive. The focus is on learning and developing professionally and personally rather than perfection. Kelly models calm during the storm and authenticity. Her encouragement to her team has created one of the most positive workplace cultures I have ever been a part of." Congratulations, Kelly.
Hello, my social work people. I would like to start off by recognizing our MSW Field Supervisor of the Year. This is Jessica Burns with Everyone Matters. Woo-hoo-hoo. She was nominated by her students. Do you guys want to stand up for a minute? Natalie, you too. Margarita and Natalie. She has been a consistent partner with NAU and our students. Her students shared that she has contributed to their learning by her ability to connect, challenge, and empower. She has a collaborative nature, and she makes them feel like they are competent people. And when they seek support, it does not diminish, but fosters a habit of growth and learning. They feel peace during their supervision and that they are valued as a person and far beyond their professional abilities. Thank you, Jessica. All right, I would then like to recognize our MSW in-person student, and that is Love Charisma. Love, Rita shared that you are fiercely compassionate, and you demonstrate an ability to think critically about family needs across systems. Perhaps more importantly, you are unwaveringly focused on family strengths. Rita hopes that you will serve as a model for all child welfare practitioners. Love, may you continue to be intentional in honoring and using your voice to be an impactful agent of change. Next, I would like to honor Caitlin Bien, our online MSW student. Kat has a fierce knowledge and understanding of her healing journey. She is intentional in caring for others and maintaining her own sense of balance and self-care. She displays genuine respect for the power of vulnerability. Her field supervisor shared that she has an ability to lean into difficult topics and conversations. She has a deep understanding of who she is and what she brings. This adds to her passion and those she partners with. Her field placement instructor, Becky, said that she has a gift for listening to and counseling others, and that the barn is a better place on days Kat is there.
All right, so now I get to present our MSW Specialized Online Field Supervisor of the Year awardee. So I am so pleased to announce that this award is presented to Gene Martinez with Amphitheater and Lulu Walker Schools, who is nominated by his student Zohar. Zohar describes Gene as a shining example of the NASW Code of Ethics and states, "Gene raised my confidence as an intern and a professional, and I have felt nothing but motivated, supported, positively challenged in all aspects of my internship. There is something so genuine about the way Gene cares for the students and staff around him and is an amazing role model for our students as well as social work interns. Gene, I thank you so much for your dedication to your supervisees and the clients and families you serve. Congratulations." So for all of our in-person awardees, if we could just have everybody stand and give you one final round of applause, that would be wonderful. Don't be shy. Woo! Thank you so very much for your dedication to your clients and the communities you serve. So I just want to share a quick logistic. At the short break after our keynote, if all of our awardees could go just outside the room, we're going to take pictures near the CEU desk. But I just want to conclude the end of the presentation segment of our symposium. We have a short break, so please, if you could return to your seats within just a couple minutes, it's not very long, and we will move on to the next part of our program. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm not gonna tear up, man. Kelly, you got me earlier. When Kelly started walking up, I started to have the tears. I'm really not good at that. I cry at anything. But, so I think this is special for me to invite someone who used to be in the field team to be our keynote speaker this year. So this one is special and kind of near and dear to my heart. So at this time, I would like to invite one of our own, Dr. Katie Momartz, to be our keynote speaker this morning. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. Who's ready to have some fun? Yeah? All right. Wonderful. Before we get started today, I do want to do a land acknowledgement. Northern Arizona University sits at the base of the San Francisco Peaks on homeland sacred to Native Americans throughout the region. We honor their past, present, and future generations who have lived here for millennia and will forever call this place home. All right, so a very, very heartfelt thank you to NAU's social work department and the field education team for hosting me today. I am honored to be with you all and in a room filled with so much expertise. I am truly humbled. My name is Dr. Katie Momartz, and today we are going to talk about the professional path of the social work profession. I want to share a little bit about me and where I started. I was born and raised in Wisconsin. You might hear it as it comes out. I attended the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point. I majored in sociology with minors in Native American rural social work and coaching. I received my master's in social work from the University of Wisconsin-Madison with an educational settings concentration, and earned a PhD in interdisciplinary health from Northern Arizona University. And as you can see, when I went into the social work profession, I held various positions. Additionally, outside of my employment, there are other roles that I have. I am currently the National Association of Social Workers Arizona Chapter President. I am the treasurer for Flagstaff Youth Riders. I coach mountain biking, and I'm a member of the Coconino Hispanic Advisory Council. So today, I'm here to talk a little bit about how my micro work and my macro work come together. Throughout our time today, we will discuss the intersect between micro and macro level social work and how we really can't do one without the other. My hope is that by the end of our time together, you will have a deeper understanding of your own leadership characteristics and abilities and the importance of building your own community. I want you to leave here feeling inspired and proud to call yourself a social worker. But we have to get to know each other first. So since it's spring, this activity seemed fitting. We're gonna go on a picnic together. Okay, I know we know this game, but we're gonna do it again. So at your table, you're gonna start by saying, my name is, and I'm going on a picnic, and I'm taking, and then you say an item that starts with the first letter of your name. So for example, you might say, my name is Katie, I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing ketchup. And then the second person will say, my name is Michaela, I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing milk. Katie's bringing ketchup. You see how it works? All right. So we're going to take like 1 or 2 minutes for this. So go ahead, get to know your neighbors. You can bring a kite. KDY with a kite. Are they done? Can you ask them? Okay. I'm gonna bring us back together. I think some of us are having really fun picnics. Please invite me to those picnics. I've heard a lot of laughter and some very interesting items that we are bringing on our picnic. I chose this activity because it demonstrates the importance of building rapport and a sense of community with others. Can we see how this activity relates to the social work profession? Yeah. So when we think about success, this is generally what we think of. If I take this step, then I move forward, and then I have this step, and it's a nice little path. This is exactly what I thought of success when I first started off as a social worker. And to be honest, some days I still think that this is what success looks like. But in reality, this is what success looks like. While it appears there are moments of setbacks, I view the highs and the lows of this path as successful. The detours, the obstacles, the flow, whatever you want to call the squiggles up there, they all represent the accomplishments of achieving a specific aim or purpose. We need the low to appreciate the high, and vice versa. They both serve a purpose. This picture summarizes the path of success. Setting your sights on those peaks, on the success, despite the bumps and the hurdles along the path. And we do that by identifying our own goals, aspirations, and passions. At the beginning of my social work career, I never thought I would be where I am today, standing in front of all of you. I always thought I would stay in direct practice, working primarily at the micro level of social work. When I first started off as a school social worker, I was afraid of macro practice. I don't know how many of us in here have also felt a little afraid of macro practice. I was afraid because of the skills that I would need to be effective at that level, or what I thought. But as I continue in my career, I realize that I can't do direct practice without incorporating indirect practice. It was at that point I decided I wanted to serve the profession in a different way and found the importance of incorporating macro-level social work into my daily practice. And even though it took me many years to realize that I needed both to do one well, I realized that I have been infusing indirect and direct practice all along. This lit a fire in me. I decided to take a leap and go back to school and obtain a PhD after taking many, many years off of being in school. And to overcome my fears and imposter syndrome, I used this framework created by Sir John Whitmore to help me achieve my professional goals and aspirations. As social workers, we help our clients on a daily basis set and achieve their goals. But who is our social worker helping us achieve our goals? Today, we will take a few minutes to establish a professional goal or aspiration. Research suggests that maintaining focus on goals and aspirations can help reduce burnout and compassion fatigue. So you all have a little notebook and a pen in front of you, compliments of the NAU Field Education Team and Social Work Department. Thank you. So we are going to take just a few minutes. And we're first going to start with this model, this GROW model. And you're going to identify a goal. What specific goal are you trying to achieve? Maybe what is that you're trying to change? What outcome do you want to see? What are you trying to, when are you going to achieve it? And what are the benefits for you for achieving this? You don't have to answer all of that, but just take like a minute and identify what's a professional goal that you have for yourself. If your life is busy like mine, maybe the goal is, I want to set a goal, right? Maybe that's the goal. And then we'll move into our reality. So how far off is achieving your goal? What do you need to do that you are currently not doing to achieve your goal? Who else will benefit and in what way? What will it be like if you achieve your goal? What is moving you towards your goal? Maybe what is getting in the way? And is this the right goal for you? And then moving into options. So what different kinds of options do you have to achieve your goal? What else could you do? What would you say to somebody else with the same goal? What specifically will you change to achieve your goal? And then your way forward. How committed are you on a scale of 1 to 10 to reaching your goal? Here's our motivational interviewing, right? It's right there for us. If it's not a 10, what would make it a 10? What will you commit to doing? How will you know when you achieved your goal? And who or what resources or what else do you need? And as you finish up, at your table, share what you need to actualize your goal. So just take a few minutes and talk about your goal with one another. All right, it looks like we are wrapping up our conversations. So I'll bring us back together. So I am clearly dressed wrong. What I should be wearing is probably my skirt with my mountain biking top for today's conversation. But we're going to go on a little ride today. And today's ride is the social work professional path can be likened to mountain biking. A thrilling ride with smooth trails, breathtaking views, yet filled with challenging terrain and unexpected obstacles. In this analogy, we're encouraged to keep our eyes on those peaks, pushing forward despite the bumps and the hurdles along the way. While it is an exciting ride, this is not an easy path to take, but you all decided to become social workers anyways. We know that most individuals choose the social work profession because they want to help others and interact with them. Take a moment to reflect on why you chose the social work profession and keep that thought with you as we go through our conversations today. Similar to mountain biking, being a social worker mirrors the determination required to conquer difficult terrain and how to persevere through the ups and downs of your professional journey. As social workers, we are all leaders, whether we are informal or formal leaders. We lead and guide those we interact with on a daily basis. And research suggests that leaders possess the core values of the social work profession. So how do you nurture yourself so that you are growing into the leader you already are and want to be? These are leadership characteristics, and this list is not exhaustive. There are many, many more that we can add on here. But today we are going to talk about resiliency, perseverance, and grit as leadership skills within the social work profession. This picture says it all, to be honest. Good old Sedona, you never know what's going to happen there. Wading through water was definitely not expected on what is normally a dry trail that I am on a lot. But can you identify a time in your professional career when the path was not what you expected? And according to the American Psychological Association, resiliency is understanding the need to adapt and persevere through challenges. The process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. And to cultivate resiliency, even when adversity is there, it requires us to ask for help, which is a sign of strength. And we all need help at some point. This is my sister and I goofing off in Hawaii. It's hilarious. They wouldn't let me get on a bike until I could demonstrate that I could do certain things. And my sister kind of laughed because I mountain bike. So she was just kind of messing around, helping me out. But this picture is fitting, right? While we were goofing off, it's fitting. We all need help, whether it's a gentle push or somebody to just keep us steady. We all need help. It also takes time, and it requires intentionality. And there are 4 components when we are building resiliency. Oh, apologies. So, building your connections, prioritize your relationships. Connecting with empathetic and understanding people can remind you that you're not alone in the midst of difficulties. Focusing on finding trustworthy and compassionate individuals who validate your feelings, which will actually support the skill of building resiliency. And join a group. Find a group in your area that can offer you support and a sense of purpose or even joy when you need it. Take care of your body. Promoting lifestyle factors and self-care. Yes, I know it's a buzzword, but self-care can actually strengthen your body to adapt to the stress and reduce the toll of emotions like anxiety and depression. And by practicing mindfulness, we can also help people build connections and restore hope, which can prime them to deal with situations that require resiliency. Avoid negative outlooks. So focus instead on giving your body resources to manage stress rather than seeking to eliminate the feelings of stress altogether. Keep things in perspective. In social work, we know this. We reframe all the time. So how you think can play a significant part in how you feel and how resilient you are when faced with obstacles. Accepting change is just a part of life. So accepting circumstances that cannot be changed can help you focus on circumstances that can be changed. Maintain a hopeful outlook. Try visualizing what you want rather than worrying about what you fear. And learn from your past. By looking back at who or what was helpful in previous times of distress, you may discover how you can respond effectively to new and difficult situations. Meaning, find purpose. Volunteering can garner a sense of purpose, fostering self-worth, connecting with people, and tangibly helping others, all of which can empower you to grow in your own resiliency skills. Be proactive. Foster self-discovery by asking yourself, what can I do about this problem in my life? If the problem seems too big to tackle, break them down into manageable pieces. Take it one thing at a time. Just make progress towards your goal. Just move, right? So develop some realistic goals and do something regularly, even if it seems like a small accomplishment that enables you to move towards the things that you want to accomplish. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can accomplish today that helps me move in the direction I want to go? And look for opportunities of self-discovery. People often find that they have grown in some respect as a result of a struggle. So learning from setbacks and using them as opportunities for growth. As this picture illustrates, when we trip, we generally fall forward, and we get up and we look back and we're like, what did I just trip on, right? Or in the case of me on my mountain bike, it's usually, what the heck just tossed me off my bike right now? And we look at it and then we learn from it. But when we learn from the trip, we find ourselves that we are feet ahead of where we started. So while we think that this is failing, fail forward, trip forward, learn from it, and then recognize how many feet ahead you already are because you just learned from that mistake. A setback is not the end of the road, but rather the beginning of a new journey. Embrace the lessons and the insights that come from failure and use them to propel yourself forward towards greater success and fulfillment. So at your table, take a few minutes to reflect and discuss this question. How can you help your clients build your resiliency? How can you help your students build resiliency? How can you help your client? How can you help yourself? So let's talk about how can we help build resiliency with others we work with. All right, it looks like we are finishing up our conversations. So resiliency it's an overview. We talk a lot about this and the work that we do as social workers, but I want to move us into perseverance. And this is me struggling up on the mountain there on a very, very hot day. So perseverance is recognizing the determination required to overcome difficult terrain. So while resiliency is the ability to adapt or recover while experiencing challenges, perseverance means the ability to keep going even when encountering setbacks. So social workers persevere and go the extra mile all the time, despite the challenges. For example, it's finding time to study for an exam, even though they had a long day at work or internship. I'm looking at my master's students up here in the front. They're all nodding. Yes. They're counting down the days for graduation. And these are strategies for cultivating perseverance. Perseverance, along with resiliency, are crucial behavioral competencies that social workers must have to overcome significant obstacles, along with helping their clients overcome significant obstacles. And we do this quite well, that reframing that failure, right? We reinterpret that. So first, redefine what failure means, and then combat the fear of failure. Embrace the lessons of failure. Every failure, or every setback, if you like that word better, brings valuable lessons that can pave the way for future success. Reframe your perspective. Just change it. Change the way you look at failure. Failure isn't a sign of incompetence, but an opportunity to grow, learn, and innovate. Set realistic expectations. Don't strive for perfection, strive for progress. My dissertation chair, this was her motto for me. Katie, it's not perfection. Katie, it's not perfection. And I would have to hear that multiple times. Reevaluate your expectations, Katie, right? So just strive for progress, not for perfection. Practice self-compassion. Don't be too hard on yourself if you fail. It says nothing about your worth as a person or as a professional. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. I was with a friend last night, and they were telling me, I failed 10 times today. And I'm like, really? Tell me how you failed 10 times. And she did. She got rejection letters. She's like, I made a mistake. I said this, I did this instead of that, right? But she was like, but now I've learned, and now I know what I'm going to do moving forward. And so she's like, that's okay. She's like, this is how I learn. It takes me 50 times to get it right, but that's okay because I'm getting quicker at it and better at it. Find a supportive community. We've talked about that. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, offer constructive criticism, and encourage you to overcome failures. And commit to learning. Embrace the lifelong learning stance that we have. Invest in self-improvement, acquire new skills, and stay open to feedback. These are the strategies for integrating perseverance into your personal and professional life. Recall past perseverance. Bringing to mind past instances when you persisted can help strengthen your resolve and give you energy, focus, and determination to persevere now. Often I hear from students about confidence. I don't have confidence. I'm not confident in my skills or my ability, right? And I encourage them to reflect back like, well, in the past when you weren't feeling confident, how did you manage that? What worked for you? How did you overcome that, right? And then they're like, oh, I did this, and that worked, and I was able to do that. That's perseverance, right? So reflect back on what's been helpful and then what you can implement in the now. Take a small step, even if it's just like the tiniest little small one. Identify one small thing that you can do right now to make progress towards your goal. Set a reasonable pace, just like in mountain biking, right? Slow and steady wins the race. I'm sure we all heard that, the turtle and the hare, right? Yeah, slow and steady. So instead of doing all of this work all at once and getting really frenzied and then taking like 4 days off and not doing anything. Keep a consistent pace, a little bit every day, a little bit on something. Just make a little progress towards your goal. Try other solutions. If you're stuck, look at other options. Make sure you explored all other options and ways of accomplishing your goal or getting through your next step. Be patient and don't give up. Don't forget that things take time. And just keep going, even if it's in thought. So remember that your efforts will pay off by putting one foot in front of the other. But know that being intent on your goal, not giving up, is progress in itself. So back to our table discussion. When your client or student or colleague is in a difficult situation, what can you do to help them develop persistence, perseverance, and hope? We'll take a few minutes to discuss that. Okay, so it sounds like the conversations are winding down a little. So who would like to share maybe what their table talked about? What are some ideas or strategies that we can use when we're working with our clients or with others to help them develop perseverance? Oh, we're not feeling brave today. Anybody feeling brave?
Everybody here touched on working in a strengths-based perspective as well as using empowerment and having really good active listening.
Yeah, so we said strengths-based empowerment perspectives and using active listening to help our clients. Great. So we would model to them that I'm using these skills, and then hopefully they would be able to model those to others they're working with. Yeah? Okay, great. Yes?
So we talked about a few things. One is activating the supports.
Activating our supports.
Yeah, skills that they have, helping them remember maybe previous skills that they've forgotten. And then also taking a future focus and inviting them to maybe imagine things that might be different. X, Y, and Z. If such and such.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to activate our support system. Remember those. We are going to help our clients or others remember their skills, right? Sometimes we forget, and sometimes we kind of go down a rabbit hole and we're like, oh, I'm going to stay here, and we need somebody else to be like, oh my gosh, but look at all of these other skills that you have. And then we remind them, look at the way that you've overcome this in the past. Look at all of the other hurdles that you've done, right? Because sometimes we forget those. Yeah. Other ideas or thoughts?
Our table came up with providing them with a roadmap of where they need to go, and then celebrating the little wins.
Yeah.
With
Okay.
tangible things like certificate of completion or little tokens and things like that. So to get one step at a time.
Yeah, so putting together a little roadmap. Yeah, and then breaking it down into really small, attainable steps, and then as each one is achieved, we're going to give some sort of celebration, right? Yeah, accomplish our successes, no matter how small they are. Great. Any others? Okay. So I think it's time for us to do a little stretch break. So we'll take just a few minutes. Let's take 4 minutes. We'll come back here at 11. Live streamers, use the restroom, fill up your coffee, your water, whatever. We'll all come back here in a few minutes. In the room, just stretch, fill up your water, your coffee. All right, I'm going to ask for you to find your seat. And we are going to move into our leadership skill of grit. So similar to resiliency and perseverance, grit is the mental toughness needed to persist and succeed despite adversity. And without passion, perseverance leads to burnout. And without perseverance, we just give up. So we all need a little grit. Grit is when social workers keep going, even if our client or our project has had a setback. And these are the components of grit. So courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It's following your vision, no matter where it takes you. Standing up for what you believe in, especially when your beliefs are unpopular, or simply doing the right thing, even though easier options exist. Conscientious people have strong moral principles and values. They want to do the right thing, and opinions and beliefs on any subjects are rarely held lightly. Conscientious people stick to their convictions and opinions. Opposition only serves to strengthen their dogged determination. Perseverance. Essentially, to persevere means to start and continue steadfastly on the path towards any goal you set, and frequently, this factor alone is the difference between failure and success. Resiliency, the toughness, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties, and passion. Passionate people have a deep sense of purpose and are often selfless in their actions. They know themselves, they have a clear sense of their values and their beliefs, and they live by them. So those are the components of grit. And these are the strategies for developing grit. Find your passion. Find what gets you up out of bed in the morning, what gets you your motor running, what gets you energized, whatever it is, find it. And then practice it. We don't achieve our goals by just like, oh, okay, I think I want that goal and it will come to me. It will happen when it needs to. We need to practice. We need to take those steps to achieve our goals. Contribute to a greater purpose. Find your meaning. Find your sense of purpose. Where is it that you want to be? Give yourself time. You have to practice the skill. It takes time to achieve our goals. And immerse yourself in a gritty culture. Find other people who are gritty and hang out with them and practice and foster your grit. Have them mentor you on how to be gritty. So, how can you acknowledge the grit that your clients have already shown? Remember, when your clients show up, they're showing up on the worst day. So how can we acknowledge the grit that they have already shown? So we'll take a few minutes to discuss this as a table and see what y'all come up with. Okay, I'm going to bring us back together. It took us a little bit to get going with grit. Right? Is it harder to think about how can we help our clients? How do we acknowledge grit? How can we pick up when someone is using grit? Resiliency and perseverance, I think, are easier. Grit is harder. So what did you all come up with? How do we know we're gritty? How can we help our clients know they're gritty?
I was talking to my table about how my therapist used the word grit one time, and I was like, wow, I love that word so much. And so every session, she reminds me that I have grit.
Yeah.
And I think even that, like, to talk to clients and be like, yeah, like you have, like, grit is grown. Like, it's, like, made in perseverance and persistence and in really difficult times. And so I think, like, every client is going to have grit. We just have to acknowledge it and to say, like, hey, just so you know, you have grit. Like, you're stronger than me.
Yeah. So does your individual, do they remind you, how do they remind you? Do they say you have grit because, or they just say you have grit?
She listens to what I say, and then she stops me, and she's like, just so you know, you showed grit in that moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Perfect. Yes. Wonderful. Yeah, so sometimes we just have to like remind the person, like, there's your grit. There it is right there, right? Other ideas?
We talked about celebrating every small success, which is hard for our clients, especially who are traumatized during crisis,
Yeah.
to remember
Yeah.
those moments. And so every time, even in that moment where we show up, reminding them that they did that.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about a lot of the systems that our clients exist within are not always kind and are punitive. And so reminding them that every time they show up, it's going against these systems that sometimes they don't always have control, but they're still here.
Yeah. Yeah, so celebrating our small successes and then also reminding them that you showed up despite all of this adversity, and that's your grit. And you are going against what the systems say you should be doing, and you have it. Great. Other ideas, strategies?
When they demonstrate like resourcefulness or savviness, you can kind of point it out.
Yeah. So when our clients are being really resourceful or savvy, right? When they are navigating those systems, we can point it out and we can show them their grit. Great. Any others?
I was just going to say our table talked about some of this, and I think we talked about pairing that with also not just saying you have grit, but also like acknowledging what they're going through first and saying, so not just like you can do this, you got it, but saying yes, this is really difficult. So pairing that with also them
Yeah.
saying you have the grit
Yeah.
to do it. So not just cheerleading, but also acknowledging.
Right, so validating the feelings, validating the situation first, and then as saying, here's the grit, here's your mental toughness, this is how you're overcoming it and working in this challenging situation. Yeah, great. Wonderful. Others? Were you able to identify your grit? Bless you. The allergies must be getting you. Yeah, do you know how gritty you are? We're going to find out. Yay! So we're going to do a little activity. This is more of an individual, independent activity. But think of a time in your life that was particularly challenging or demanding. The thing that always keeps coming up for me is my PhD process. That is when I understood grit, is obtaining a PhD. But think of a time that was particularly challenging or demanding, especially one that was emotionally draining or difficult emotionally. Think about how you handled that situation and eventually came through the other side. And then answer these 5 questions. So go ahead. You have your little notebook. Feel free to write it down or put it on your cell phone. And we'll take just a few minutes. I think some of us might be done, and that's great. When you are done, just with that, at your table, find a partner and reflect on what did you learn about yourself, and what will you implement the next time you encounter a challenging situation. So what did you learn? And what will you do the next time you encounter a challenging situation? Is this boring?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay, just checking. Oh, okay. Just checking. Okay, thanks. Okay. Anybody want to share what you learned about yourself from this activity?
Our table talked about how we have to be nice to ourselves during challenges, and that sometimes that can be really hard, but we have to remember that we're still human and we make mistakes.
Yeah, so we need to be nice to ourselves, so that self-compassion, the self-love. We are human and we all make mistakes, right? And we talked about what happens when we make a mistake, right? We can fail forward, and that's okay, right? Great. Anybody else want to share?
You can't control what's out of your control.
Yeah, I can't control what's out of my control. I can't change what's out of my control, right? Absolutely.
I think just letting yourself feel it, even if it really hurts, like don't try to rush through it. Like it's okay to not always be like happy sometimes.
Yeah,
Let yourself be upset.
it's okay to be, and it's okay to feel, whatever the feeling is, whether it's happy or sad or upset. It's okay, right? And remember that when we talk about being resilient, and when we talk about perseverance and having grit, it's not we want to erase those feelings. It's we want to learn how to sit with them and move through them. Great. You want to know how gritty you are? You can go to Angela Duckworth's grit scale. If you want to do it right now, you can pull up your cell phone and you can just Google Angela Duckworth grit scale. I tried to do a QR code and technology was not my friend. So this is the actual website. It literally takes, there's 10 questions, it takes like 30 seconds. So if you want to do it, we'll give like a minute. All right, I'm seeing some of us are finishing our grit scale. Some of us are laughing at our grit scale. So, you don't have to share with me, but were you surprised with how gritty you are? Yeah. All right. Okay. Just out of a show of hands, how many of us were actually surprised by our grit scale? A couple. Okay, good handful. And for those of you who just raised your hand, were you surprised at your grittiness because it was higher? Raise your hand if you thought it was higher than you expected. Okay. Yeah, the laughers over here. And how many of us were surprised because it was lower than what we thought? And we have a couple of those. Anybody not surprised by their grit scale? Oh yeah, we have a good, this section over here. So for those of us who aren't feeling gritty, your people are over here. Your mentors are all over here. They're all gritty over here. Yeah. When I did this, I don't know, I wasn't necessarily like surprised. If you're wondering, I'm highly gritty. very gritty. And I get real gritty real quick when you're like, I don't think you can do that. I'm like, oh, watch me, right? I can do it. I have a pair of socks that proves it. It says that on there, that I can do anything that you say I can't. So my grit mentor gave those to me, right? And I wear them a lot. So I like this. Feel free to use this. It's a real quick, real easy scale. Use it with your clients. Maybe the ones that you're like, you're really gritty, but they might not think they're gritty, and you want to kind of show them like, you've got grit. Let's use it. Yeah. All right, so as social workers, we often refer to resiliency and perseverance and grit in the form of coping skills for our clients. The encouragement to persevere, adapt, and aim for success despite the obstacles and challenging terrain are necessary personal attributes to be successful. It's important to remember that these skills can be taught and learned. So we're going to transition a little bit to talk about micro and macro social work practice while we keep our goals, aspirations, resiliency, perseverance, and grit in mind. Oh, okay. There's more words on that slide, but they didn't show up, so technology. That's okay, though, because I have the students in the audience who I actually have down as they're going to help us with this slide here. So in the social work profession, we use research to inform us on our knowledge, interventions, and strategies we use with our clients. Similarly, we take the information learned from our practice to inform our research. We identify what the gaps are and then how we can fill them. So for the students who are in the audience, we have 2 core competencies that the Council on Social Work Education says that we work with that are really macro heavy. And if we think about our learning contracts, I know we don't want to think about that, but we're 3 weeks left, 2 weeks left, we can. And if we think about competency number 4 and competency number 5, so number 4, engage in practice-informed research and research-informed practice. And number 5, engage in policy practice. I would like to hear from our students in the audience. I know field supervisors, faculty, please don't help them out. This is not a test, right? You're not going to get you'll still get your diploma. It's fine, right? But explain to us what competency number 4 really means when we talk about taking research and infusing it in practice, and then taking practice and infusing it in research.
It means that when we interact with clients.
Wait, I want to see. Alex, can I use this mic? Oh. Is it on, Alex? Oh, we're hot. We got a hot mic.
How far away? Okay.
It's okay. You're good.
So I would say that putting research in practice means that when we interact with clients, or when we implement policy in our agencies, or even when we talk to each other and we're just consulting, we do so from the lens of the evidence that we have and the research that's done in our practice, and from our beautiful, beautiful research people. I don't know where Pam is, but she was my research teacher, and I love her. And then just vice versa, when we work with clients, we should implement the things that we learn through our interactions into research and consult and include those things when people are taking data and numbers.
Yeah, great. What's your name? Natalia. Faculty, did Natalia get it? Yeah, good job. Anybody else? Any other student want to add on to what Natalia? Do we have a different way of explaining this? Margarita, take it away. The MSW students are going to educate us now.
Well, I can speak on the second part of that. So practice-informed research. Research is a very personal thing. And as social workers in research and doing research, we need to think about how it applies and how it can further not only the profession, but the clients that we work with, and how can it benefit them. So it doesn't have to be black and white. It doesn't have to be, clean cut like some other professions with research do. Life's messy. we need to recognize the messy and incorporate the messy into our work for it to be applicable.
Great. Faculty, did you get it? Yeah, great. Faculty, anybody want to add on? No? Our students got it? All right. Congratulations. Woohoo. All right. So competency number 5, policy. Engage in policy practice. Oh, yes. All right. I'm coming. Becky. All right, Becky.
When we engage in policy practice, I feel like it means that we accept the importance of the government and legislation. Because I think a lot of us want to kind of ignore it because it's impersonal and we don't often like it very much because it's not trauma-informed or evidence-based very often. But the way that we change that is by becoming involved. Like, it's never gonna change if we don't decide to implement change. So it's really important for us to be involved in policy, to be involved in voting, like on a macro level, because if we're not there, like, who else is gonna do it?
Yeah, great. Faculty, did Becky get it? Yeah? Others?
One thing about policy, I feel like as a place where it's not really going to have the social work values that we hold, is just getting to mingle with people that you're not going to be comfortable speaking with because they have different views, but making yourself comfortable and just not like gaining them as friends, but just gaining them to the point where they listen to your perspective, and being really immersed in the community so that that change that you're advocating for makes sense to the people in the community, because we're just one vote as an individual, whereas if we can get the whole community together on like one common goal, then we would be more likely to reach it.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Good. We have one way in the back. I'm coming. All right, thanks, Lindy.
Thank you. Well, sometimes the wounds that are inflicted upon the members that we serve actually come from bad policy. So when we have bad policy and it trickles down all the way into impoverished and oppressed communities, that's it right there. That is macro work at its finest, as it starts with micro work.
Yeah, there we go. I think that's a good place to end, right? So I think we're starting to understand that I can't do my micro work, my direct practice, without doing my macro work, my indirect practice, right? And that what I do with my clients at that direct practice influences the work at the micro level and vice versa. And I think, we often think about our policies. I think for students, working with students and being a field liaison in the past, I hear a lot of students talk about all of these policies way up there, way out there, right? At the state, at the national level. And as Lindy was saying, that sometimes we actually need to even look at our policies that are local or even within the organization that we're working with. And how do those policies impact the work that we're doing with our clients and vice versa? So thank you, students. Big hand to our students. Thank you. All right, so the NASW Code of Ethics has ethical standards pertaining to the evaluation and research for social workers. I am not going to go through all of those points. I want us to know that as social workers, our code of ethics does have an actual specific section that is geared towards how do we infuse research and practice and vice versa, and how does that align with our values, our competencies, and the macro and the micro work. But what I do want to say is that while micro and macro practice seek to have the same goal, there is the difference in the methods used to address the concerns, the scope of the impact of the work, and how close the social worker interacts with the populations they serve. As social workers, it's important to incorporate macro-level social work to inform direct practice. Research doesn't have to be conducting a study Sometimes it involves researching the existing scholarship to identify the best evidence-based practice that you can use with a client. Or sometimes it is interviewing a client for a research project, or identifying community resources that you can provide your client with. Sometimes it comes in the form of advocacy, advocating for your client as they navigate the various systems that they are involved with. So my question for you all today in a table discussion is, how do you integrate direct and indirect, micro and macro practice in your work? And we'll take just a few minutes on this. This is our last table discussion. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Okay, because I know we're getting close to lunch, and lunch is after my conversation, I want to make sure that we move this along so that we can have lunch. I know better than to stand in the way of lunch. So let's maybe hear from 2 or 3 folks. How are we incorporating? What does that look like for us? I'll start us off. Maybe that will help. So I did a research study that was actually informed by my clinical practice. And I was working as a therapist, and I was working with a very select population. And I was starting to notice a theme that kept coming up regarding their mental health and regarding their anxiety and their self-esteem and access to services. And I went into the literature, and there wasn't a lot there on that. And so then I did a research project that was based off of that. So I took my micro work to inform my macro and did a research project. And then I was able to say, here's actually what they're saying. Now let's do something about it. Okay? Others, how are we doing both? Thank you.
So in hospice work, I found that bringing empathy to the table, it's a micro level, it's personal. Sometimes we have our own personal experiences and loss, and we need clients and patients to understand what they're facing and the challenges. And indirectly, we're recognizing we're bringing in outside resources that are all types,
Yeah, so in hospice work, I want to, just for our online streamers so they can hear, in hospice work, we're using our micro skills, specifically empathy, and our active listening to be with those who are going through that death and dying process. But then we're using our macro level work, right, where we're bringing in those community resources such as long-term care insurance and Medicare, and helping the families understand those. So you're using your micro skills and your macro knowledge. Yeah, great. And let's hear one more.
I think really understanding policy like we talked about on a micro level and meso level, so policy within agencies and schools and communities, and then also macro like government policies, because all those policies may directly affect their clients or indirectly, and if you're aware of them, then you're going to
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, when you start a new job, right, they're like, here, read your policy handbook. And you're like, oh, yay, right? But there's value in doing so, right? When we can go through our organization's policies and understand what is the policy, what is it, why is it there, what's the meaning behind it, and how does it positively and or negatively influence the work that I do or my clients, then that helps us give an understanding of how to proceed and the steps that we need to take to move forward to adjust that policy. Great. Wonderful. Thank you all for sharing. So I think it's really important. I do a lot of reflective work. I think it's important that we reflect on where we are now and where we have been so that we know where we're going. All right, so as we end our time today, we're going to harness resources. Yes, this is me on a ski lift, riding the ski lift with my bike up to the top of the mountain, because sometimes you just need a ride. So similar to mountain bikers relying on our trail maps and our gear for support during our rides, social workers rely on our informal and formal supports and resources. And using our tools and techniques to navigate life's trails effectively. Just like in mountain biking, when we outgrow our bike, meaning that it no longer promotes skill development, or sometimes we get too tall for it, right? In social work, we need to continue to develop our skills, knowledge, expertise, and experiences. Find a community that supports and upholds you. Identify your social supports and networks, whether they are informal or formal. Leveraging support systems for success in personal and academic endeavors can be done so by creating your team. Find your mentors. Okay. I don't know why that one didn't show up, but find your mentors. Identify your needs. What are your needs? Seek relevant connections and cultivate meaningful relationships and give back to others. And then work on your skills. Ask for help in a clear, concise manner. Set boundaries and recognize when you need help. These are resources for social workers to assist with navigating the professional journey. And these are just a few. There are a bunch more out there. But as you can see, we have NASW up there, the largest membership organization of professional social workers in the world. And underneath our national umbrella, we have our state and local chapters. So every state has a chapter that you can get involved in. And there are resources that are available, whether you're a student or whether you are a practitioner, a clinician, or a social worker out there. Our Council on Social Work Education, the National Association representing social work education. This is our accrediting body for social work programs. The Society for Social Work and Research is dedicated to the advancement of social work research. And then over here, you can see that there are a bunch of other organizations that you can get involved in and have professional memberships with. So these are just a few. I wanted to highlight that if you are feeling that you aren't connected, you can get connected in the social work profession. And there's lots of avenues and ways to do so. For the sake of time, because I know lunch is next, we are not going to do this activity. But I encourage us to maybe think about this and to identify this. And so this is an activity where you write your name up at the top, but you start at the bottom. And so you identify your roots. Where did you come from? Right? Your city, your state, your country, your culture, organization. What are your roots? And then your ground. Write down the things that you do on a weekly basis, or maybe the things that you want to do. Your trunk, your skills and your values, right? Think about your body. Think about your core. It is strong. It is tight. It holds you up. You need it. That's your trunk. It's your values, all of your skills. Your branches. Write down your hopes, your dreams, and your wishes. Your leaves. What's important to you? Write those down on your hopes. Your fruits. Write down your legacies that have been passed on to you. And your flowers and seeds. Write down the legacies you wish to leave to others. So in conclusion, no matter where you work, your role, or the clients you serve, you may see how today's conversation applies to you as well. And just like in mountain biking, there are multiple trails that you can take on your social work path to achieve your professional goals and aspirations. You are a social worker and a leader. Don't be afraid to take the lead, to stand up, and to advocate for yourself and for those you serve. Similar to mountain biking, social workers need to test your bikes. You need to look at your skills, identify what's working for you, and what needs to be strengthened. Don't be afraid to try on new gear, and keep your skills up to date so we can better serve those that we are working with. Sometimes we just need to take a breather and orient ourselves to the situation or to the trail. It's okay to breathe. Remember to practice some mindfulness and slow down the process and sit with the silence. So the key takeaways from today is that I really want you to keep your eyes on the peaks, your goals and aspirations, your passion. We need passion to avoid burnout. Don't be afraid of that challenging terrain. You all have resiliency, perseverance, and grit. Some of us innately have these skills, and for others, don't dismay. These skills can be taught and learned. And reflect on your smooth trails. Identify and reflect on your support system and your resources, your skills, your values, and your coping strategies. And finally, integrating micro and macro level social work promotes social justice, advocates for vulnerable populations, and provides support to individuals, families, and communities. So as we wrap up our time together today, what is one thing that you will take to work or your internship on Monday? Thank you. For those of us who are on live stream, just a reminder that if you need a CEU, to please email the social work field education team so that they can get you the information that they need. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, can we give one more round of applause for Katie? Thank you. I have a few announcements. Before I get to mine, though, I'm going to ask Katie Montoya to come up. She has an announcement for the entire group and the live stream. So live stream, keep going, please.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure you're aware, if you are in Flagstaff on Thursday, May 9th, graduates of MSW and PSW, we want you to come to convocation. So it's not too late. If you have been like, oops, I forgot, or maybe some of you were like, because your parents weren't able to come or you had other family members. We're kind of in a tough position this year with Saturday convocation, so we know some families are waiting to come up later. But we want you to come. Your social work faculty and staff is your family for that morning. We want to celebrate you and all of your accomplishments. So please go ahead, and you're welcome to email me directly. And that's Katie, katy.montoya@nau.edu. So we look forward to seeing you there, and look forward to celebrating with you. Thank you.
Okay, so just a few announcements as we get ready for lunch. So as I had mentioned this morning, our lunch buffet is going to be in the room, so we need to give them about 10 to 15 minutes to set that up. And so you are free to get some more coffee, some more beverages, mingle until the lunch is ready. A couple other reminders: if you received an award, student and or field supervisor, please meet at the CEU table here in just a few minutes so that we can do some pictures. Both nominee and awardee would be great. Students, when the closing is finished, we would like a large group student picture at the staircase. And so if you want to make your way there after the closing, we will get that picture. And please help yourself to the buffet when it is ready. But at 12:30, we will do the formal closing for today, and we will have the social work department chair, Dr. McCarthy, do that closing at 12:30. So until then, go ahead and we'll take a break, and then I might make some sort of announcement when lunch is ready to be served. Thank you.